Hello and welcome to English for You. I'm Seb.
And I'm Mike.
And today we are talking about technology, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Specifically computers.
Specifically computers. So, Mike, are you a computer kind of guy?
I use them, but I can't sort of say that I understand them very well. I have a computer guy who helps me with all the problems. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, okay. You know how to turn it on.
I know how to turn it on. I know how to
buttons.
use it when it works. But as soon as it doesn't work, I panic. And I go, what do I do? What do I do? But actually, I have to say, he helped me a lot this year, and I'm getting better at feeling more confident
so
about
you're learning
I'm learning some
You're
things.
learning IT.
And also learning that I can't break it just by doing something simple. You know, because my old thing was
losing the mouse off the screen.
That's right. What if I erase the whole hard drive? And he's like, no, that won't happen. If it just stops, just turn it off and turn it on again. But won't that damage it? No.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Because they are complicated and they are expensive, and I don't always know what I'm doing. So.
They are, and you don't really want to try and fix your own computer normally.
No.
That's normally going to make the problem worse. Normally,
True.
You want somebody called a technician.
Right.
A computer technician.
Or
like
an IT guy.
An IT guy,
like
a computer doctor.
Yeah.
To come and fix your computer for you.
Exactly.
But we're not actually talking about technicians today. We're not talking about IT guys. We're talking about, well, a kind of an IT guy, actually.
The original IT guy.
The original IT guy. the best IT guy of his time, definitely. Alan Turing. Now, Alan Turing is very famous in the UK because he did some very important things in history. And we're going to be learning more about his legacy today. So let's get started.
Reading.
Alan Turing, the new face of the 50-pound note. The computer scientist Alan Turing is on the UK's new 50-pound note. The Bank of England made the decision in 2019, and the note became available in June 2021. Turing was a talented math student from a young age. When World War II broke out, he played an important role in breaking German codes. He developed a machine, one of the world's earliest computers, to help with this. After the war, he continued his work with computers. Turing also got the ball rolling on artificial intelligence, AI. However, Turing was convicted of being gay at a time when this was illegal. He was forced to take chemicals to cure this, and sadly ended his own life in 1954. In 2013, Turing was officially pardoned because of the terrible way he was treated. His life is now celebrated, which is why he was chosen for the 50-pound note. In addition to the photo, images of Turing's work and one of his quotes appear on the bill.
Okay, so we are going to begin by looking at something that happened in the news recently. The computer scientist Alan Turing is on the UK's new 50-pound note. Okay, I can't remember the last time I held a 50-pound note.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. They're quite rare as well.
That's true. You don't often see them. That's
I think I've owned one 50-pound note in my life.
It's like the 2000 NT dollar note in Taiwan.
It is.
You don't see them very often.
Very big, very rare.
Yeah.
Okay, and we saw this word scientist. Now, a scientist is a noun and it's a job. It's a person whose job it is to study things in science. We can tell that scientist is a job word because it has the word ending ist. This appears in a lot of job names like dentist, 牙医, and journalist, 记者. Scientists can do a lot of different kinds of work, but often we call them researchers. Researchers study problems and things we don't know and look for solutions. Turing was a kind of researcher because he developed a machine that could do things that no other machine was capable of. Here's an example sentence for scientist now. Isaac Newton is best known as the scientist who made us aware of gravity, 重力.
So he's going to be on the new 50-pound note. Every 10, 20 years, countries often redesign the money and, change the look of it or put new people. If they have a famous old person on it, they might change them. So
they did that in the US recently, didn't they?
I think they did.
Harriet Tubman.
Oh, they're going to do it.
They're going to. They were talking about Harriet Tubman.
The Bank of England, it says. So these are the people who design the money, make the money, print the money. The Bank of England gives you an idea of who they are. It's a part of the government. They're in charge of basically the money supply in the country. The Bank of England made the decision in 2019, and the note became available in June 2021. Yeah, so these are things that take some time. Someone has to make a decision. We will do this. And then often they get artists to sort of give them different ideas for the design, for how it's going to look. So it'll take a few years. So 2019 was when some of the people at the Bank of England said, we should do this. We will do this. And so finally, if you go to England sometime or Britain sometime this year or in the future, you will be able to get this new banknote. Now, who was Alan Turing? Why does he deserve to be on the 50-pound note? Why not you, Seb?
Why not me?
Yeah.
Well, there's one big difference between me and Turing. Actually, there's lots of differences.
There's several.
But one difference is that Turing was a talented math student from a young age.
Okay, that's not the difference I would have guessed. But
no, I mean, there's some bigger differences,
Right.
but I'm terrible at math.
He's dead.
And he was very good.
And he's dead.
He's dead. That's
He's
true.
dead.
He is dead.
I don't think living people can even be on the banknotes.
I didn't know that was a rule. What does
so.
talented mean, by the way?
Unless you're the queen. I guess if you're the queen or the king, you can be on the banknote.
True.
But yes, if someone is talented, they have a lot of talent. They were sort of born with special skills and things like that. You can learn skills, you can practice, you can take classes and work really hard and get good at something. But often when we think of talent, we think of you were just born that way. So talents and skills, when you put those things together, you have this natural gift, a talent, and then the skill that comes from learning and practicing and working really hard. Wow, then you can be the best in the world at something. But certain people might be born with a few more gifts. These are the things we might consider to be talents. For example, Amelia is a talented singer who won a song competition at the age of just 10. So when other kids were, playing with toys, she was singing like a professional singer. She had a lot of talent, or to use the adjective, she was very talented. Okay, so he was a talented math student. He was very good at math. He was doing, the kind of math that college students were doing when he was still in grade 2 or something like that. He just had this natural gift for math. And then the article says, years later, when World War II broke out, he played an important role in breaking German codes. Yeah, so this is during the 1940s. Britain is at war with Germany, and these armies are communicating with codes. They're talking to each other using secret codes so that the other guys, in this case the British, can't understand. But Alan Turing, using math and a lot of very complicated things like that. When something breaks out, I should say, when we talk about World War II, something starts. It usually starts in an accidental way, in a kind of sudden way. We can talk about diseases breaking out. We can talk about fires breaking out. Usually these things are maybe sometimes dangerous, but it could also be laughter breaks out when someone says something funny. Suddenly it was quiet, and then suddenly everyone was laughing. The laughter,
a quick change.
A quick change, exactly. A quick and surprising change. And it says there, he played an important role. When you play a role, it basically means you do something or you are part of something. An important role means, it maybe couldn't have been done without you. But, when we talk about a war, many people played a role in the war. The generals, the leaders, the soldiers, the workers back at home who worked in the factories, all of these different people played a role in some big thing, big event, or big challenge.
Exactly. And the role that he played was he broke German codes, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. The code, a code is basically when you take a message and then you make it so it's impossible to read for other people. You're using some kind of system, maybe changing the letters into numbers, and then the person you want to talk to knows how to change those numbers back into letters so that they and only they can read the message. The idea is...
And so this was a big problem during World War II because the Germans were using this secret code to send information, decide where they were going to attack next. And the British didn't know how to, they didn't understand what they were saying. So what did Alan Turing do? Well, he developed a machine, one of the world's earliest computers, to help with this. Okay, I don't know if you've seen it's called The Imitation Game,
That's
I believe,
right.
the movie.
Yes.
They show the machine in that movie. It's this huge, big machine that takes up a whole room, a whole warehouse.
Yes.
And he makes this massive computer.
Right.
And using that, they managed to crack the code.
But after the war, he continued his work with computers. That was just the beginning. And a lot of people were impressed at how these computers could break these complicated codes, and it also showed them, wow, we can use computers for lots of other things, basically to do a lot of very complicated math very, very quickly.
Exactly. And in doing so, Turing also got the ball rolling on artificial intelligence, or AI. Now,
was he bowling?
He wasn't bowling.
He's rolling balls?
That's a good point, actually. It's a bit of a confusing phrase.
I don't understand.
This is actually a kind of an image that we're using here to get the ball rolling. To get the ball rolling means to start something, normally in a smooth or successful way. Turing is often called the father of artificial intelligence because he was a very early researcher of it. Because of him, other people were able to do further research and develop artificial intelligence into what it is today, which is why that we say he got the ball rolling. So he wasn't bowling.
Okay.
So if you're wondering what I mean by artificial intelligence or AI is a type of technology that can do things normally associated with humans, such as learning new things and making decisions. I believe in Chinese it's 人工智慧. Okay, so from there, it seems like everything's going well for him, but things don't, well, I know from the movie they don't end so well for Alan Turing.
They don't end so well. He is a very professional guy. He was doing his job amazingly well, but his personal life started to become a problem for him. It says, however, Turing was convicted of being gay at a time when this was illegal. Yes, if you can believe that, it was actually illegal to be gay, which is something that's even hard for us to understand how that was true. But back at that time, 1940s, maybe the early 1950s in Britain, you could actually go to jail because you were gay, which is really
all the way until the 60s, I think.
A strange idea. But when you're convicted of something, basically you've broken the law, you've committed a crime, the police catch you, then you go to court, you see a judge, the lawyers argue if you did it or didn't do it, and if they find that you did, if they have proof or evidence or something, and the judges say, right, you did it, now you have to go to jail, they will send you to jail. And that whole process of being found guilty and then being sent to jail is being convicted, right? And you'll be convicted of the crime and maybe convicted to 5 years in jail or something like that.
We only say sentenced in that situation.
Sentenced
you're given
too,
a punishment,
right.
You're sentenced to something.
Exactly. That's the time you'll go to jail or the punishment you'll get.
So what did he do? Did he do something terrible? Well, someone who is gay, that is the thing he was convicted of doing, is just someone who is attracted to people of the same sex. So if you're a man and you're attracted to people who are men, then you're gay. Or if that's the only person that you're attracted to. If you're not attracted to women, let's say. If you're a gay woman, then you are a woman who is only attracted to women. So nowadays, this is just part of life, This has always been part of life. But as you were saying, back in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, this was something which was very looked down on in society and that was illegal in the UK. So we'll move on from that now and take a look at today's grammar point. We're teaching you another way to use the grammar structure when. You already know that you can use this to ask questions or to say at what time you did something. But when can also be used to modify specific elements in a sentence. Let's take a look at the sentence again. However, Turing was convicted of being gay at a time when this was illegal. Here, we're using when as a relational adverb, 关系副词. We can break it down like this. Turing was gay at a time in the past. At that time, being gay was illegal. When, therefore, affects time and tells us more about what kind of time this was in the past. Here's another example. The summer is the only season when we can see the flowers. Here, we've put when after season to add information about what kind of season it is. Okay, so this was a time when being gay was illegal, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And again, that's a very strange idea. Of course, when we think of things that are illegal, we think of actions that if you do them, if you take an action, the police will catch you because it's wrong, right? Stealing money from a business would be illegal. Hurting someone, killing someone, something like that. Those are illegal things to do. So someone caught him and they said, you're gay, and I don't know how they proved this, but he was convicted. He went to court and they said, yes, you're gay. And so he was punished?
He was. He
Really?
was punished, and it's a really terrible thing that they did to him, actually. The article
says... They send him to jail?
They didn't. He was told that he could go to jail.
Okay.
He was given choices.
Oh.
So instead, because he didn't want to go to jail, he was forced to take chemicals to cure this. And sadly, ended his own life in 1954.
You're kidding.
Okay, so yes, at the time, people believed that being gay was a disease or something bad that you did, and you could cure it by taking special chemicals or by going to special centers. Obviously, he didn't want to take these chemicals. He didn't choose to. That's why we use the word force. Now, force is a verb, and when you force someone to do something, you make them do it. So Alan Turing didn't want to take the chemicals. He was told to do them as a punishment. And as he didn't have a choice, we say that he was forced to do this.
Right.
Now, this is something that the UK government was later very, very ashamed of. And in 2009, the Prime Minister made an official apology to Turing and his family for what the UK did to him. Here's an example sentence of forced now. The teacher forced the students who didn't complete their homework to stay behind after class and write lines as a punishment. Okay, so what happened after that? 2009 wasn't the end of the Alan Turing story, was it?
Right. So I guess, people had changed. They realized being gay or is born that way. That's totally fine. It's not a crime. Leave these people alone. And so they apologized. But of course, this is long after he was dead. But I guess for his family who are still around, this is a good thing. And just for, gay people in general, this is something that was, a long time too late, but at least they were doing it. And then in 2013, Turing was officially pardoned because of the terrible way he was treated. They kind of say, the government, the British government, were wrong about this. We punished this person for what they did, but what they did wasn't wrong. We were the wrong ones. When you pardon someone, it's basically like you accept...
You say they didn't do anything wrong.
Right. You accept their apology in a kind of formal way, So if I steal Steb's pen or something like this, I say, oh, I'm really sorry I stole your pen. I thought it was mine. And then he says, that's okay. I accept your apology. He's kind of pardoning me, but this is in a more official kind of government kind of way. For example, we could say years after he was sent to prison, Olaf was pardoned for his crimes and set free. And yeah, I mean, these days with DNA technology, they are pardoning people, right? They said, this guy killed someone, but it was back in the 60s. And then they are able to test for DNA and they find out, no, it actually wasn't that guy. He said it wasn't him. We thought he was lying. We found out much later it was someone else. So, of course, they have to pardon that person, the one they sent to jail, incorrectly, because it's just not fair to leave someone in jail or to blame someone for a crime that they didn't actually do.
Exactly. And so pardoning him was part of creating a change in how we talked about Alan Turing.
Okay.
So the article says his life is now celebrated, which is why he was chosen for the £50 note.
Good.
Yes, as you were saying before, Mike, we normally put people who are, very famous
Sure.
or represent something very important
Yep.
on our money. Well, it goes into a little bit more detail here in the article about what is going to be on the £50 note.
And then in addition to the photo or the picture of Alan Turing the man, images of Turing's work and one of his quotes appear on the bill too. An image, yes, an image is basically a picture. It could be a picture taken with a camera. It could be something you draw or something that you paint. We put images in books and magazines and on websites and all sorts of places. But instead of saying it's a photograph, it's a drawing, it's a painting, those are images created in certain different ways. Image covers all of that stuff. So it's not words, it's a picture of some kind. For example,
go ahead.
There are images of nature in all of this artist's paintings because he liked to paint outdoors.
In addition to the photo, images of his work and one of his quotes will appear. So a lot of things will be appearing on this note. And how do we know that it's a lot of things? Well, because we have this phrase, in addition to. We use in addition to add a new piece of information to something that we have just said, kind of like and also. So the £50 bill won't just have a picture of Turing on it, it will also have a picture from him, a picture of him and some of his work. We also saw the word quote in that sentence as well. Now, a quote is something that someone has said and is used later in speech or writing. So the news, for example, is full of quotes. If President Tsai says something important, journalists will take note of it and put it in the news. You might also use quotes in your essays and reports in school. That's because quotes are a very useful tool that we can use to make our writing more persuasive. Quote can also be used as a verb, so we can quote someone as saying something. For example, Neil Armstrong is often quoted as saying, "It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Okay, let's look at our example sentence now. The news report began with a quote from the mayor about crime in the city. So, that's all the time we have for talking about Alan Turing's life and what is happening with the £50 note, but we have just enough time for a For You chat question, so don't go anywhere.
For You chat.
Okay, so this is a good question, actually, particularly because it's about Taiwan's money. And last time I checked, there's not many people on Taiwan's money.
Yeah.
So who do you think should appear on Taiwan's money and why?
Gosh, that's a tough question. I mean, the thing about Alan Turing, well, maybe not Alan Turing, but other people, is sometimes we'll disagree, right? Because this is an important person. It's going to be on the money probably for 10, 20 years or something like that. So if I said someone like, well, Lee Teng-hui, he was an important guy. He was, the first democratically elected president of Taiwan. There would be a lot of people in Taiwan who'd be like, no, we don't want him on the money, and it would all be these different ideas. And I'm not saying who's right or wrong, but it would maybe lead to some arguments and things like that.
It's often very difficult, isn't it? It's very difficult to get everyone in a country to agree.
Oh, I don't know her. I don't know her Chinese name, but Teresa Tung. She was a very famous singer. She was popular here, popular in China. She died quite young. She's still got like thousands and millions of fans. But I'm just thinking she might be someone no one would really argue about because she was quite popular with all sorts of people, and even young people who maybe don't listen to her music. They know that for their parents, she was a very popular person. So maybe her?
Maybe her.
I don't know.
Yeah, that could be good. That could be good.
It's a tough question.
You guys can talk about that. What famous people from Taiwan's history can you think of that you think really deserve to be on the money? You guys talk about that, and we will join you soon for some more fantastic articles. For English for You, I'm Seb.
And I'm Mike.
And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Vocabulary Review.
Scientist. A scientist must examine every detail many times and then write about the results of each test. Talented. Phoebe is a talented actress. She has played roles in many shows since a young age. Force. Adam didn't want to see the dentist, but his mother forced him to go. Pardon. The president pardoned the man who was in prison for killing someone because she thought he didn't do it. Image. This country's money has many images of local animals on it. Quote, "Speak softly and carry a big stick. You will go far," is a famous quote by former American President Theodore Roosevelt.
智慧小补帖
Code. Artificial intelligence, AI. Convict. Gay.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net